I never know how to start the video. I don't know why. It's just an intro, Jeannie. It's just an intro. Why do you make this so hard? Hey guys, what is up and welcome back to another video. If you're new here, I'm Jeannie and this is a place where you get bookish love and a whole lot of random. In today's video, I am going to be sharing my bookish goals for 2022. I also have a special announcement to make about something that I've been working on for like the past month already. Like a month and a half. So before we get into those bookish goals, let me share the announcement because I feel like I want to just like burst. Like I just want to just let it all out already. The special project that I've been working on is I'm going to have my very own Patreon. And so excited. In case you don't know what Patreon is, it's just basically helping support me and my channel by having like a monthly type subscription. And there's like different tier levels. Each tier level has different benefits that you'll get from me as, you know, a content creator. I'm super excited because there's a private Discord group that I created for my Patreon, which is called the Shadow Fold. If you know where that's from, right? If you don't know, well, that's actually inspired by the Shadow and Bone universe. Well, the Grishaverse. The tiers are inspired by the Shadow and Bone trilogy. The Discord group is inspired by it. I just want to put this out there too. You do not have to like the Shadow and Bone trilogy to join, okay? Like, this is for anybody who loves reading, who loves meeting new bookworms, talking with other people, making new friends, you know, book clubs and things like that. So you don't have to worry if you never read the trilogy, if you hate it, because listen, we could rant about it together because there's some things that I don't like about that trilogy too, okay? So listen, guys, in my Patreon, not only am I going to have bonus content for you, but there's also going to be book club, you know, like a book of the month where we could read together, we can chat, we can have fun, movie nights, live discussions, streaming. What else do I have going on? Oh, readathons, sprints. Is going to just be like so much fun and I cannot wait to start this. The date that I'm planning to launch is possibly sometime in January, or if it's just going to be on February 1st, which I might aim to do February 1st, but I don't know if I could hold on that long, so we shall see. But if you want any further information in regards to my Patreon, follow me on Instagram. All the information is down below. Now that I let all the excitement about my Patreon out, now let's dive into this video and talk about my bookish goals for 2022. Bookish goal number 1, read more diversely. So last year I read some great diverse books and I want to keep that going for this year. I want that to keep going and actually I want to read more of them. Of course I want to read more Latinx authors, Latinx books because I mean, hello, I'm Latina. And I also want to read more books by BIPOC authors, Asian authors, and multicultural. You know, I just want to branch out to more cultures. And yeah, I want to read more diversely. And that's what I plan to do in 2022. Bookish goal number 2, read more books I own. Listen, that for me is a big one because I need to read more books I own, okay? You see these shelves. Well, from what you see,
there's actually more books, okay?
Last year, I read so many books from my shelf, and that felt amazing. So let's be real. I wasn't able to buy a lot of books last year because of my financial situation, which is not really such a bad thing. Because quite honestly, what it did do was that it made me read more of the books I already own. Seeing a lot of my books that I own just sitting there. It makes me feel so bad.
I don't even know. I don't know what goes in our heads. All I know is that I can be an impulse buyer when it comes to books. Like, and comment down below if you do the same thing. Because, you know, like, I know I can be
horrible when it comes to that.
So I am so happy that last year I started reading more of my books. And, you know, they got the love and attention that they've been waiting for. And with that said, I'm actually looking forward to also doing like this challenge that I have set up for myself. But I will be sharing that in another video with you guys. So make sure you look out for it, because who knows? I would love for you to join me in that challenge when you find out what it is. Bookish goal number 3. Be mindful of the books I want and buy. Just like the previous goal, right? That I want to read more of my books. Well, that also has to include not buying books and not just wanting books just because. I've impulse bought many books, and guess what?
I don't have many of them.
Because either I didn't like them, I lost interest in them. Basically, it was kind of like money wasted. Like, don't get me wrong, guys. I love books. I love being surrounded by them. I love having them. You know, I just love it. But I also have to be more mindful and responsible about the books that I actually want and, you know, what I want to buy. Because at the end of the day, I need to save money. And I have some financial goals that I'm working on. Okay? Like, I need to get out of this financial hardship that I'm in right now. When I start making money again, I need to be smarter about my money. So, why not start with that, right? I think I'm at this point in my bookish life where I'm just over it, right? Like, because there's just so many books too that I have read, and especially last year, that were so overhyped. And guess what? I didn't like it. So it's like, why did I buy this? And with that said, what I plan to do this year is I plan to borrow more books from the library. This way I can try out the book, see if I like it, and if I really like it, then eventually I'll buy it or add it to my wish list. So like that, then I can own it. But other than that, I am definitely trying to be more mindful of the books that I want to have on my shelves, the books that I want to buy. And on that note, let's dive into bookish goal number 4. Unhaul books I didn't like much or that I won't read again. Yes, guys, like, you don't even understand. So I did this last year as well, where I was like, you know what? I need more shelf space. Let's be real. Let's be honest. Let's be 100. Okay? Like, that was what inspired me to unhaul some books that I had sitting on my shelves. Like, just sitting there for like forever.
Forever, 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 ever, forever, ever.
So my bestie, she told me, yo, you know, I seen this truck where you could donate books. So what did I do? I was like, oh, this is the perfect time to unhaul. So like that, I'll have some space on my shelves for these other books that I bought. Listen, some of them are still in the boxes, okay? Like, I need to do another unhaul. Point is, like, if I don't like it much, or if it's a book that I'm like, meh, I'm not gonna read this again, you know, I'd rather just unhaul it and be on my way to another book. Or make a new home for a new book. How about that? I realized that the reason I got into this habit too is because of Bookstagram. Listen, I love Bookstagram. I love that community. That's like my favorite. You can follow me. It's linked down below. I love taking bookish pictures. I love finding out new books, finding out about new authors. But I also feel like it made me have some bad habits at the same time. Like impulsively buying books and falling for the pretty cover even quicker than I would normally have before I joined Bookstagram, or keeping books just because I want to have it for a picture, or keeping books just because it was hype booked on Bookstagram. Yeah, that's why I had to make it a goal for this year. So unhauling is gonna happen soon. Let me know if you would like to see a video on that, because um there's also something that I've been doing with some of the books that I unhauled. So if you're interested, comment down below and let me know. Bookish goal number 5. Read a classic. Okay, guys. So I have not read any classics since high school. And when you really think about it, those were forced. Okay. It wasn't like I picked it up myself and was like, oh, yay, I love this. No, you had to read those things for that grade, because if you didn't, you would fail. But I actually want to read a classic this year. I've been thinking about it a lot last year, and I think 2022 is going to be that year where I read a classic. And I have some in mind, like I'm thinking Dracula or Frankenstein or Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, like stuff like that. I don't know if I'm ready for like Little Women and Pride and Prejudice yet. I want to aim for like 2 classics, maybe 3. Let's see, right? I don't know what it is, but I feel like I just want to read a classic this year. And that's kind of weird, because usually I stay away from classics. Usually I'm just like, yeah, no, I'm not reading that. On to my fantasy world. But definitely comment down below and let me know what classic you recommend I read. Something that's not going to really bore me or like make me shy away from classics. Let's put it like that. Recommend me something that's not gonna push me away from reading classics. Bookish goal number 6. Complete more series I own. So last year I was so proud of myself because I actually committed to that goal and I completed a few series that I wanted to complete. One of them being the Throne of Glass series, which you can see like there's quite a few books here. I am still currently working my way through Kingdom of Ash. I started it last month, but then I ended up having a seizure and then getting sick and couldn't really read as much as I wanted to. So we are halfway through now and I'm planning to finish it this month. So there's that. I also finished A Court of Thorns and Roses, and I read the Mortal Instruments series, and I read the Infernal Devices series, which is like, to me, it's like a huge accomplishment just because those are like the fandoms that every book nerd talks about. So I feel like, yes, now I'm included in them. So I'm super excited about finishing those. Then the series that I am most excited about finishing too, that's been on my bookshelf for like forever too, is the Falling Kingdoms series. Yeah, those were like my major accomplishments of 2021, that I finished those series. So I want to keep that bookish goal going, right? And complete more series that I have sitting on these shelves. So my goal is to complete like about 4, probably most likely 5. And then if I'm able to complete more than that, then kudos to me, right? But the main goal is to complete 5 series that I already own. I just want to read the ones that I already have and that are completed. Bookish goal number 7. Commit to my reading journal. Let's talk about the reading journal, right? Like in December of 2020, I came across, a reading journal, and well, let's just say I came across it again, right? And I got, that fire and that excitement of wanting to start one. I started one. See, I did this and did this, and as you can see, it's empty. I did do a bookshelf too, and you can see that I filled some of it in, but then the rest is blank. And so I think you get my point, right? So basically, I created a reading journal for 2021 and didn't commit to it. The thing is that such a bad thing? No, because guess what? I'm going to repurpose this reading journal and I'm going to use all of that stuff that you saw there that I spent so much time on to make. I'm going to use it this year. The only difference is, of course, I'm going to white it out or do something where I could change it to 2022. I mean, am I right or am I right? Like, why go through the hassle of making everything again when I have a perfectly good one here that I didn't use? Or maybe that's just me being lazy. Listen, take it for however you want to take it, but I will be using this this year. And what's cool about that is that now when I have my Patreon, hopefully I get some people that are into journaling and can help keep me accountable, or we could keep each other accountable if you're like me and don't commit to a reading journal. And what I do love about journaling, because I used to do it in the past, is that it's so relaxing. I have a creative outlet, and now I'll be able to write more reviews, and it'll also be easier for my videos because now I have it in my handy dandy notebook. Or shall I say in my handy dandy journal. I'm super excited about, actually committing to my reading journal this year. Poor baby. Bookish goal number 8. Take my time with each book I read. Okay, so the reason I set this goal is because my Goodreads reading goal was to read 100 books. And that wasn't such a smart thing. Don't get me wrong, okay? I did complete it. I did read 100 books last year. But do I remember some of them?
No, I don't.
Did I fully enjoy reading?
Yes and no.
The reason I say no is because my main focus was reading 100 books, reading 100 books, reading 100 books. I gotta read this. Let me put the speed up so I could finish it because, I'm behind. So it's like I was putting pressure and stress on myself, which was so unnecessary. The other reason I felt that I was putting pressure on myself was when I became a booktuber. I had this mentality, I guess because of me seeing other booktubers, and I see that they read 10, 15, 20, 25, 50 books a month, right?
I might be over exaggerating with the 50 books a month, but there are some booktubers that they read pretty fast, okay?
I kind of felt that as a new booktuber, I had to be, not like them, but at least somewhat there, right? Like I felt like I had to read at least 10 books a month. If I could do more, then that's great. So it's like each month I was putting pressure on myself. And mind you, this is not, calling out any booktubers, not calling out anybody that set their goals high. Because listen, everybody has different goals, right? Not trying to say anything towards you. It's more of a me thing. Okay, like I'm a competitive person. That's in my nature. Okay, that was just me. That's just me being hard on myself, pushing myself too much, and kind of like not really enjoying reading like that. I wanted to make sure that this year I definitely took my time with my books and actually enjoy reading them and actually not be stressed, because that's not the point of reading. Like that is so not the point of reading. It's not to stress myself out. It's to love my book and have fun with it. This year, I lowered my Goodreads goal to 75. I'm looking forward to enjoying reading again and taking my time with my books. Bookish goal number 9. Go back to annotating my books. In 2021, I started off strong with annotating because I love annotating my books. And then it started dying out, especially when I started to listen to audiobooks more. I found myself not really annotating in it. Most of the time, I was more so listening to like the audiobook outside or while I was cleaning. So there was just no room for annotating, even if I owned the book. I feel like there were some great books that I've read, and I had so many thoughts in mind and so many reactions, but now the book is just regular and it doesn't have all those first time thoughts and reactions that I love to put into my books. So, yeah, that's why this year I'm making sure to read more physical books and do like less audio books. And if I do like a audiobook read along, then I'm going to make sure that I'm sitting and able to annotate while I'm listening. This way I can keep annotating. If there's one thing that I learned from last year's experience with some books that I DNF'd or really didn't care for, is that
don't annotate right from the jump.
what I'm planning to do is I'm planning to use a pencil first, and then if I see like, okay, I like this book, then maybe I'll start, doing all that fun stuff that I do with pen and highlighter and all of that good stuff. Or if it's like an author that I really love, then I'll just go right into it. Balls deep. Bookish goal number 10. Less screen time, more read time. Okay, guys, so we are all guilty of this, right? Like we tell ourselves, oh, I'm gonna start reading. Oh, I started these sprints in my group. Let's do this. Let's read all the books. And then next thing you know, you get a notification from Instagram, from TikTok, from whatever social media that you love. And then you're sucked into this hole of
the endless scrolling.
Next thing you know, the whole hour, 2, 3 hours passed and you didn't get no reading done. Well, listen, okay, I'm part of that. Okay, I'm guilty. Yes, I'm guilty of that. I'm going to schedule in like some screen time, but also making sure that I mainly focus on reading. I want to read every day. I want to create a routine where I can read in the morning and at night before bed. In the beginning of last year, I was doing that. I was reading twice a day and reading almost every day, but then it got to a point where I stopped doing that. The reason I stopped doing a lot of that is because I find myself a lot on my phone or on social media. So I have to limit that. So that's why now I included the less screen time and more reading time. So let's see how that goes. And I hope it goes well, because I know I can do it. I hope I can do it. Are any of these bookish goals on your list? If not, share some of yours with me. I would love to find out what other goals people are making too, because it just might be something that I need to work on too. And if you made it all the way to the end of this video, I guess leave some kind of book emoji below. Be on the lookout for my Patreon launch. If you haven't subscribe to my channel. And yeah, I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time, peace out. Bye.